We're very happy to talk to you this morning about our life with rare disease. My name's Angela Russell. I'm a wife and mom, and I was a daughter of someone with rare disease, so I'm kind of used to that world and the world of many doctors. This is Dr. Ryan Russell, my wonderful husband, and he's going to tell you about his life with rare disease. Ryan?
We're here to show you that a disease is not just a diagnosis, it's a life, and you can live a very happy life. So
We're hopefully going to show you some humanity other than just being a name in a chart and a medical number. We're actual people, and so we're here to give you some actual people behind the diagnosis.
So here we are in Hawaii, right?
Aloha!
Okay, it's actually in Orlando at a conference.
Same conference. Ryan was asked to speak and give his perspective on being a 43-year-old man with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy.
We hadn't even been married a month yet.
Yeah, we were starting off good. And then there's our Tigger. He's 21 years old. He moved from Arizona with Ryan.
I was born and I was cute. We didn't know that I had Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy at the age of this picture. And,
A little baseball.
my mom had waited for me a long time. And my parents were older. My siblings are all older. So everybody is happy with me. They're happy I was born. And here I am. This is after I was diagnosed with Duchenne. See, I've got a baseball. I got my ball cap. I was probably out throwing the ball around with my brother or something. I lived a happy life. I went to the doctor every 6 months. I hated it. I didn't really know why I did. I tried to live like I didn't have this disability. I tried to live a normal life as every regular high school student that raises show chickens. I became an Eagle Scout and I got a PhD in psychology. So I've done a lot of things with when my parents were told I might live to be 18.
My turn. So there's my dad. Like I said, I was a daughter of someone with a rare disease. He had MS, multiple sclerosis. To this day, I don't know what causes it, why he had it. I never have really thought about it. He was diagnosed when I was 10 years old. And fast forward many years later, there's my son Xavier, who was born in 2008. And it occurred to me at one point in his life when he was about that age, he didn't know why Grandpa didn't get out of bed to play with him. Grandpa didn't get up and play with him or run around with him or chase him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. He didn't know. I'd never explained it to him. Grandpa has multiple sclerosis. He can't. He's had a long journey of slowly losing function. So like I said, I was 10 and he was about 35 when he was diagnosed. And when I was a young adult, he was using a walker. And then when I was at that I'm at my mid-30s because Xavier's about 4 years old at that point.
Okay,
So
sorry.
we found this wonderful way for Grandpa to pull Xavier around on the scooter. I tied the thing to his wheelchair, but don't worry, he had a helmet on. But Xavier was diagnosed at age 8 years old. So this year will be 10 years of our life with Duchenne. And the doctor who told me was someone I grew up with. He was a year or two older than me. He was the brother of one of my best friends in grade school, and he'd become a general practitioner. He called me and Xavier's dad on the phone after he'd assessed him. And he knew, Dr. Steve knew right away, basically what he had. He didn't know for sure, and he couldn't tell us, but he said, I really want you to get some labs. We got the labs. His CPK was like 10 times what it should have been, which is normally what they go by. And then, of course, his movements, his getting up off the floor, classic, all the Duchenne things. But I'd never heard of Duchenne. We did not know these movements and these behaviors and the compensating with the sticking out the belly and the way he was walking. We didn't know. The school physical therapist, once he was diagnosed, told me, oh, yeah, I knew. Why didn't you tell me? The reason he went to get tested was a substitute teacher just kept calling me and saying, I really think you need Xavier to get checked out by a doctor. And I'm like, he has a pediatrician. He goes when he's supposed to. Checked out for what? So I took him. Dr. Steve said he's got like a Duchenne or a Becker's muscular dystrophy. I'd never heard of that. So we went and got the labs. It was confirmed. It took like 4 months to confirm that because of insurance and the testing and whatever was going on. The doctor called me and said, you want to come on in tomorrow? And I said, no, I don't. Just tell me what's going on. And she said, yes, he's positive for Duchenne. My mother and I went in and talked to the neurologist who was about to leave that hospital, Children's Mercy, and move away to another hospital. So we only met her the one time and she explained Duchenne, but we were so devastated because we'd seen my father go downhill and lose function over a 30-year span. And here's my little boy. So it was really devastating. And I appreciate the doctor, the MDA specialist people were there, like to help you through, because it's absolutely devastating. They tell you your kid could be 18 or 19, which, by the way, that has changed. That's still what's out on the internet. I'm sure you're going to encourage people not to Google diagnoses and things because, Dr. Google doesn't always know, but I encourage you to remember his cute little face and what's ahead for us. And you never know. Doctors will say 18, 19. Here's Ryan, who's 43. But anyway, I have a daughter. She's going to KU right now. So me, Xavier, and Miranda go out and do things as much as possible. There we are up at the zoo. We're on the sky ride taking a picture. There we are at Crown Center with the KC. There we are when he's wearing his little hat. We're at the
Oh, yeah.
World War I Memorial. There's Miranda. She's on the dance team at K. And I just encourage Xavier to get out of the house because isolation is a big problem with these Duchenne kids. People back off and they back away, and the kid in the wheelchair, and they don't really know how to. Plus, a lot of Duchenne people have a cognitive situation. Xavier has extreme social anxiety. A lot are on the autism spectrum. And it's just another layer of things going on with Duchenne people that folks need to be aware of. I remember we love our doctor, but I realized he had never talked to me or Xavier about mental health. And when that first neurologist who talked to us told me and my mother, he's going to need therapy. He's going to need a counselor when he's 12, when he's 15, when he's 17, the different stages of life, because he'd be losing functioning. The disease would be progressing. And as you grow up and change and see things and mature and understand things more. So Xavier's in therapy. He sees an equine therapist. So he is bonding with this horse. He's got a talk therapist, Eddie. He was put on sertraline, but then he decided he didn't want to take it because he thought he wouldn't be himself if he took like an antidepressant or anti-anxiety. But anyway, I wish Dr. Stalin had reminded us of mental health, because it wasn't until Xavier was in a wheelchair when he was 13, he realized Duchenne is not fun. Am I ever going to walk again? And he was crying and coping with it. He said he wanted to kill himself. He said a lot of horrible things. I didn't know if it was the prednisone. I didn't know if it was his age. I didn't know if it was because he was coming to terms with, I have this progressive disease for there's no cure. But anyway, it comes to mind, it was about that time I told the doctor I wanted to get him off prednisone. Is there anything else we can do? And he said, I have no problem getting him off that, but let's find out if a therapist can help him before we switch his drug. Let's see what other thing it could be. Let's find him a psychologist. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just found out there's this doctor of psychology with Duchenne who's in his 40s. I'm going to find that guy. He's going to help my son.